Hey everybody, welcome back to the Time Pass podcast. This is your host, Ashika. Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. If you haven't done so already, please like me on Facebook at Time Pass Podcast. Follow me on Instagram at timepass_podcast. And check out the YouTube channel where you can watch all the episodes of the Time Pass podcast. If you are an auditory listener, wherever you are tuning into the Time Pass podcast, please make sure that you are liked, followed, or subscribed on your listening platform of choice. Okay, you guys, I like to make content. Obviously, third season of the Time Pass podcast, and I have a TikTok account, and I have an Instagram account, and I have a Facebook page for the show. So obviously I am always making content, and if you're not following me on any of those socials, why not do it now? But I recently made a reel, and it really sparked my thinking about this week's topic. So the reel I made was about, what I'm looking for in relationships moving forward. It was like a sound that I found. It wasn't an original sound at all. But it really resonated with me, so I saved it. I'm going through a time in my life right now where it really resonated with me, and I was like, okay, this is great. I'm putting this out there in the universe. And basically what it said is, moving forward, the only things that I'm looking for in a connection is reciprocated energy, clear communication, and emotional safety. Now those things, they sound amazing. It resonates 100% with what I am looking for in a connection moving forward. But the thing that stuck out to me, right? Reciprocated energy, that's a no-brainer, right? We're not doing that anymore. We're not pouring into anybody's cup who's not pouring into ours. Clear communication, another no-brainer. But emotional safety, that one hit different. And it really, really resonated with me. And so I started thinking, what is it? I can say, yes, I want emotional safety. And I know what that means to me, but why? Why is it so important? And why is it something, you could have asked me the same question of what I'm looking for in a connection a year ago, and emotional safety probably would not have been at the top of my list. The reciprocated energy, clear communication, yes, but emotional safety would not have been there. And so why is this so important to me now moving forward? And why is it so important for relationships, right? So I wanted to talk a little bit about emotional safety today and what it means and how to foster that in our connections moving forward. So when you Google emotional safety, basically what the interwebs tells you is that emotional safety refers to an emotional state achieved in attachment relationships where each individual is open and vulnerable. And it's when a relationship is emotionally safe, the partners trust each other and routinely give each other the benefit of the doubt in questionable situations. And basically, when you don't have emotional safety or when it's lost, then the partners are distrustful and they're looking for different meetings or jumping to conclusions or looking at potential threats in their partner's words or behaviors. Furthermore, I found this great article, and I'll link it in the show notes on timepasspodcast.com so you can read them for yourselves. But basically what it said was that emotional safety starts with you, right? It starts from within you. And what it means is you yourself as a person, what it said word for word is it consists of identifying your feelings and being able to feel them. That's deep, because you yourself as a person need to not be scared by your own feelings. And I'm not saying that I'm not scared by my own feelings. Heck yeah, I am. I did a whole show on it just a few weeks ago, and there's a clip where I'm saying this. on my Instagram and TikTok, but basically where I'm saying that when I find myself falling for somebody or really liking someone, I freak out. And I'm freaking out because I'm not emotionally safe within myself, with my feelings, right? At that moment in time, that's the whole freak out, right? Because I realize that I'm starting to feel the feels and it's freaking me out and I'm not feeling safe in that feeling, so to say. That's a lot of feeling happening in that sentence. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like you have to be okay with how you feel in order to be emotionally safe with yourself. So when I have those freakouts, right, like I did, a few weeks ago, a couple months ago, whatever it was, of course I got over it. But there's that minute, and it's a moment. And for me, I think it lasted like a week or 2 weeks where I was just like, holy crap, like I'm feeling the feels. This is not a good place to be. I don't feel safe feeling the feels, because what that does is it tells me that this person, whoever it may be, has some sort of power over me now. They can hurt me, right? So it took me a couple weeks to get over that and be emotionally safe. And then once I'm emotionally safe with myself, then that means revealing your true self to another person. This is how this article put it, and I really, really appreciate it. But it said, emotional safety means revealing your true self to another person. It is expressing who you are, including your hurts, your fears, and your dreams. It's expressing yourself authentically, sharing any sort of dissatisfaction, fears, and insecurities, and having a conversation without it blowing up into an argument, and or sharing it without fear of shaming, yelling, or rejection. That's kind of huge. Like, that's what emotional safety is. And I mean, I got to that place in this last connection where I flat out told the person that, like, hey, it's really hard for me to be vulnerable because my instinct is to just run away and shut people out when I start feeling for them. So, I think it's really important to have that emotional safety in a relationship, because when you have emotional safety in a relationship, and again, I found this in a different article and I will link it, so check it out because these are really good articles, guys. But some of the benefits of being in emotionally safe relationships include you feel valued and valuable. Two different things, right? You feel valued by your partner, but then you also feel valuable, independent from your partner. You know what that means? That's huge for someone. Another benefit is you can truly be yourself without the risk of judgment. You can show your weaknesses without fear of being taken advantage of. And God, this one really hit home for me, because I feel like myself, when I'm trusting someone and I find myself catching feelings for them, but I trust them, I start to show them my weaknesses. I start to share parts of myself that nobody else gets to see. And some of those parts aren't like the pretty made up version of me. I want somebody to see the real me. And so, that's always nerve-wracking, I feel like, for females in particular, and for me for a long time. I would say, like, you'll never see me without makeup. Like, you'll never see me without makeup. And I've had men that I've talked to or dated in the past, try to FaceTime me or whatever on like an off day. And I'm like, I'm not answering your FaceTime. Like, I'm not answering your FaceTime. I'm not made up. Like, I don't want to be on FaceTime with you. And when I find myself in a connection where I feel trusting and safe, in a good environment, then I start to show my weaknesses and I start to show my true self and feel like I'm not going to be taken advantage of, unfortunately, or have those weaknesses thrown back in my face later. Anyway, another benefit is you can share boldly and express yourself freely. And the last one that was in here is, and again, this one really goes with feeling valued and valuable, but you feel seen, heard, and understood. And all of those benefits basically lead to, more importantly, an emotionally safe relationship creates a stronger connection between the two people, right? And so I would just say, like, it's so important to me to be emotionally safe in a relationship moving forward, because it hurts, right? It hurts when you've opened up and you've shown somebody what I would consider my weaknesses, right? My weaker sides, the sides that I don't share with anyone. And then, when that doesn't work out, yeah, gosh, that hurts. You're like, oh, I went through all that. Like, people sometimes don't realize how hard it can be for an individual to show those vulnerable sides of themselves to someone. And so when that doesn't work out, it hurts. It does hurt. But I started thinking, and I was like, I did feel safe enough in this connection to do that. And I realized how important that was to me. And I started thinking about this on a grander scheme, right? And I was like, why is emotional safety such a big deal to me now? And as South Asians, you start off with emotional safety. The first place it starts off and where we experience it or should experience it is with our parents. And South Asians, brown kids, we don't get emotional safety from our parents, unfortunately. And it's not something, I'm not bashing on brown parents. I'm really not. It's not something that they do on purpose, because brown parents love hard, y'all. Like, we know this. Brown parents love hard. But their expectations and societal pressures and norms, societal norms, cultural norms in brown culture make it very hard for brown kids to feel emotionally safe around your parents, because they're very strict and there are rules. And basically what a lot of South Asian students, youth, and like myself growing up, you kind of have like double lives a little bit, right? Like, you're the version of you that you are at home, and you're the version of you that you are out in the public. It has taken me many years and a really, really long time to merge the two me's that I started off with as a child. It's not easy. It's definitely doesn't make you popular with your parents, or any family members for that matter. But it's, for me, myself, I can't. I'm not gonna do that, especially not at this stage in my life. I'm a full-blown adult. Like, I'm not gonna hide bits and pieces of my personality. Like, I already am such a private person and hide so much from my family and friends and whatever. So it's I merged my personalities and can come to the conversation as a more authentic, full-rounded version of myself. But our parents didn't get emotional safety from their parents either. And it's not something that our grandparents wanted to do, but back in the day, it was like that respect, right? There's taboo topics. There's shit you don't talk about. There's, you're not allowed to like talk back or have an opinion on things. You're just supposed to head down and kind of listen to your parents. So in that sort of a culture, our parents had, and then they tried to then have that with us, and having, American-born or immigrant children that are here in the States now, it's like you you can't do that so much. Like, we don't do that. So we like created different personalities, right? A home personality and an out personality. But I didn't really get that from my parents at all. I wasn't allowed to be emotionally safe growing up. I wasn't emotionally safe. And I think even with a lot of friends growing up and through the years, it's very rare to find a friendship where you can be emotionally safe, because that's another place where you can be emotionally safe, right? Is with your friendships. Like, I had Fabian on the show last week. It was a hilarious episode, but very real and raw, and just his opinions on my life. But I'm very emotionally safe around my best friend, because I'm able to be vulnerable. And I know he probably doesn't see 100% of it, but damn, he's pretty close to seeing about 90% of the thoughts that go through my head. So it's not a surprise to me, thinking about it this week more, why I'm craving emotional safety in a romantic relationship and connection is because it's something that I've lacked throughout my life. I don't think I felt emotionally safe in my marriage, and it's just, it's probably why my marriage didn't work, right? Because if you're not emotionally safe or 100% vulnerable in your relationship, you know, it's not going to work, because you don't get to that intimacy. You don't get to that level of intimacy with your partner, and that's how things crack in the facade, right? That's how the facade starts to crack. But it was so crazy to me to kind of put two and two together like that, and realize that the reason that emotional safety is such an important concept to me now, kind of a deal breaker if I don't have it in a relationship, is because I haven't had it in my life. You know, and I talk about it here and there on the show when I talk about connections that I'm currently in or whatever. And I say, you know, I want to be myself, and I want to be, you know, I want to be in my feminine energy, and I want to be, you know, more childlike and things like that. And I didn't realize when I was saying those things on the show here a few weeks ago, I was basically describing emotional safety. You know, I want to be able to show all sides of my personality and all sides of who I am in a connection. And it's really sad thinking about it now. It's really sad to me, especially as a mom, that I grew up without emotional safety. And I know that there's many South Asian kids, and not just South Asians. I mean, I'm sure it happens everywhere, but in every culture and every background. But I know for a fact that there's a high percentage of South Asian children who were raised and are now adults, and weren't able to have that emotional safety from their parents, which is like the first place that you should experience it. So then, of course, as a mom, I'm thinking, like, have I created an emotionally safe environment for my child? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I kind of ask her all the time how she's feeling about things, and she's definitely guarded. Funny, I wonder where she learned that. She can definitely be guarded. She'll talk to who she wants to talk to, but for her and I to have a heart-to-heart, it really helps if it's just her and I. And, you know, I can cuddle her and just calmly talk to her and ask her what's going on. And then she's really receptive to that. And she'll really open up at that point in time. So that's good. I think I have a bad habit. I'm such a jokester, guys. And so, like, I tease her all the time. I tease her all the time. I should probably let up, but it's also how I, like, show love, you know, a little bit. It's like I like to, you know, tease, and the point is to tease her so she laughs and learns how to laugh at herself, because I think that's an important life skill also. But you know, it made me kind of think of this, and then I was like, okay, like, this is why I want emotional safety, and this is why emotional safety is so important. And so how can we foster and maintain emotional safety or start to create emotional safety in our relationships. You know, I had to take it full circle, y'all. This is a big one, especially for me personally, but be consistent. Be there for your partner, your spouse, your child, your friend, even your coworker. When you are present, people see you as reliable and trustworthy, and that's how it's done. Like, I wasn't emotionally safe with Fabian like that. You know, it happened through years of friendship and him always being there for me. And, you know, you test the waters a little bit where you say off things and then see if someone's how they're gonna react to it, you know? And then at least that's what I do, right? Like I test the waters and see how they're gonna react to it. Are they gonna accept it? Are they gonna be like, wow, that's a little too deep, whatever it is. But it's kind of what you do. This is important. So this is actually tips from one of the articles that I'm sharing with you right now, but I want to touch on this real quickly. But emotional safety does also translate to the workplace, because when your coworkers feel and people you work with feel emotionally safe in that work environment, they're going to be more productive, they're going to be more creative, they're going to be more able to like brainstorm ideas, think outside of the box. It's huge. Emotional safety is huge in any type of connection. Okay, moving on. How else can we foster emotional safety in our connections, relationships, whatever it is? Actively listening. This is a big one, right? We hear this all the time. Listen to learn and not to respond. Don't sit there and listen and start thinking about what you're going to say next, but actually listen to what the person's saying. Let it sink, then respond if you need to respond. Sometimes you don't need to respond. You just need to listen. So, listen, slow down. This is a big one, right? Why I said I test the waters a little bit is because I don't want to be judged, right? So don't be judgmental, be curious, be interested in what the other person is saying, ask questions, but don't put like a negative tone on it or a judgmental tone on it, you know. Be curious, genuinely curious as to what this person is saying. And the last tip here is a big one, which is just lead with empathy and lead with compassion. Feel what they feel and genuinely care about who that person is and what they believe. And you don't have to believe it to empathize or sympathize with someone, or be compassionate or show compassion towards them. You just have to try and put yourself in their shoes, which is something I do often. You know, I try to put myself in someone else's shoes. I think that's what makes me a really good mediator. That's why I end up being a mediator in like all kinds of different situations at work, family life, friends, everywhere. I kind of just take on that role because I tend to see both sides of a coin. So I would say like just really lead with empathy and compassion and try to put yourself in that person's shoes so that you can understand where they're coming from. It's not that you're trying to change your opinion on something, but you're trying to understand where that other person's coming from and understand why they feel the way that they feel. Emotional safety, y'all. What a concept. I thought this was really interesting, paired with the reciprocated energy and clear communication. Emotional safety, definitely up there as a no-brainer for what I need in a relationship moving forward. What do y'all think? Do you feel like you've been in emotionally safe relationships? Is emotional safety something you're looking forward to? Does it scare you? I think also when I was doing research for this show, I came across people who were saying in the articles that sometimes people don't value safety in a relationship because they think safe means boring. I don't see that personally. I think feeling safe with a partner or a parent or whoever it is a big part of you being able to show your true self. So what do you think? Do you think that safe means boring? Do you think emotional safety is important for connections? I would love to know. Let me know. That's all I've got for you today, you guys. If you haven't done so already, please like me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and like, follow, and share the YouTube channel. If you enjoy this episode, you like hearing me talk about relationship things and emotional safety, please share this episode with at least one person. I would greatly appreciate that. That is the best gift that you could give me and a great way to show your support. Guys, whatever you do, stay authentic, and I will see you next time. Bye.